Check, check. All right, welcome to your first chakra. Balancing Vinyasa Power Flow. Today's class is geared towards rooting us and rising us in our inherent strengths. So we're actually going to start standing, feeling a little bit of growth coming up out of your feet. Yeah, come on up. The dogs are like, no. We have Kim, Julie, Rocky, and Rosie always joining us on this live. What's up, girl? Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. And then exhale, just bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. So rooting into what's ever touching the ground today. Let's pay special attention to what's pushing into the earth. Feel the steadiness of the feet beneath you. Feel maybe your heartbeat beneath your thumbs. The sound you hear vibrating is Lam. There's a seat sound to each of the chakras, and Lam is the vibration they believe helps to balance and root you, especially when you feel a little flighty or all over the place, or the opposite, a little frozen and stuck in who you are. Finding that neutrality of balance is our goal today through movement, breath, and a little bit of meditation. Inhale through mountain pose, get really tall, like a literal mountain. Extend your arms up and proud. Exhale, frog pose, sit down into your hips. Okay, so from your frog, we're working on depth in your hips. I like to use my elbows to prod open the inner thighs. Maybe you look a little right and left. Aim to root your feet. Throughout class, you'll hear me talk a lot about the lower extremities, hips, hamstrings, feet. Today's class is geared to open up the pathway of whatever's touching the ground that can root all the way up the intersections of your spine. Chakras are literally just intersections of energies, right? Okay, now let's drop down to a toe squat. Come to tabletop and then sit back on your feet. It's not gonna feel easy. My toes are tucked under behind me. We'll be here for 1 minute. Feel each of your toes start to fan open. So pull your pinky toe a little bit away from your fourth toe. And then that fourth toe a little bit away from your third toe. And if it's excruciating, I get it. You can always lean more forward into your hands, like put some weight into your palms. Or if you have blocks like we do, you can always push your hands into the blocks too, halfway. Try to extend your big toe away from your second toe. And then feeling that kind of tipping point, that edge, ask yourself, am I wanting to pull out? Or a lot of times, our response in the first chakra when it's unbalanced is fight, flight, or freeze, right? Do I want to freeze? Do I want to just give up? Do I want to run from the sensation? Or do I want to fight it? Literally do any other pose than Katie's asking me to do. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Good, let's roll it forward. Let's take a push-up into upward facing dog. You can either take it on your knees or off your knees and push now into the top sides of your feet. Look a little bit right, look a little bit left. Get a nice stretch in your stomach and focus on how you push into the top sides of your feet here. Feel that stretch through your shin splint muscles. You're pointing your toes in opposition stretch of our toe squat. Exhale, downward dog, pull it back. You got 5 intentional breaths in your down dog. If you need more length at any point and you do have blocks at home, you're welcome to put the blocks under your hands as little, I call them arm extenders, opportunities for your arms and legs to match each other in length. Deep breath in. Feel all of your toes expand and your Achilles heel, that thing that can sometimes secretly injure you, get in the way, that back of your arch stretch open. Okay, let's keep building. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold towards the top of your mat. Let's take 3 breaths. It might feel nice to sway side to side. It might feel even better to go wide-legged, especially in my situation with a baby. It feels a lot better to be wide. Give some space for my belly to breathe. Then we add, inhale, rise, mountain pose. This time, single leg mountain pose. Lift your left knee up. One of the governing muscle structures of the first chakra is your psoas. And your psoas muscle comes from the middle spine, wraps down and forward around the leg, and sometimes you can feel it, the sciatic nerve that wraps and literally like has this pinching pain down your whole leg, right? In this single leg mountain, level your belt buckle if you're wearing a belt, or your hips, your pants line, and then just lift your knee once your hips are level. That's gonna work the psoas strength that's necessary for a lot of the peaks that we're doing today. Deep breath in. Hold on the breath out. Let's take a little figure 4. Cross your left ankle over your right quad. It might feel nice to tap out and come back in, especially if you don't want all that ankle stability or wiggles. If you can, sit into it. I like to hold onto my leg like a kickstand. Sitting back, maybe you could reach for the ground with the blocks. Sit so far back that you feel, without a doubt, that your outer booty is stretching open and coming to life. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come up through center, one-legged mountain pose. That's all right. Exhale, standing splits, take it really slow. Hands to the earth, face to your knee. Walk your face as close as you possibly can so that you're almost splitting on the back wall behind you as if there was one. You're lifting and lengthening up as high and as hard as you can. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold your face towards your leg on the exhale. Good, one more big breath in. Step back to a half or a full splits. Drop your back leg, lengthen it out nice and long. Find some length here as your whole inner thigh stretches open. Let's check out your split alignment. Remember how I told you to level your hip pointers forward before in that one-legged mountain? Do the same thing here. Your hip pointers are level, but instead think about like high beams even, flashing forward so your left hip pulls forward to open your hamstrings more. We've got about 5 intentional breaths. Whatever's touching the ground is what matters the most. So your heel, your hips, your back knee feel spacious. So our first chakra, it forms when we're 0 to 1 years old. It's our place of stability. And if you're familiar with like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's those tier 1 needs like food, shelter, stability, the things that you need to live essentially. As you hold steady here in that nice long length through your legs, imagine steadiness translating through all of your limbs. Steadiness through all of your joints, ligaments, and tendons. Big breath in. Big breath out. Awesome. Okay, let's bend back into low lunge. Wiggle your fingertips forward, one-legged halfway lift. This is like airplane with support. I've got blocks, so I'm going to put my hands on them, but if you don't have them at home, no worries. Just tickle your fingertips like Julie's doing on the ground. Level your head with your back ankle. Now let's play with this little diversion here. Open your hip like a half moon. Feel what that feels like. Open your hip towards the left side of the wall. Then close your hip. If that doesn't feel good in your body, then don't do the drill. Otherwise, just feel how it feels to open and close the hip. What we're ultimately aiming for here is hamstring strength, and that's going to require your hips being closed. Like I could balance a glass of water on your back. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, good. All right, now meet me in that one-legged lift. Hold and steady your pelvis. Breathe in. Step back, low lunge. Twist your right palm to the sky, twisted low lunge. Look up at your right hand. Kim's got great height. She's looking past that right arm. Squeeze your scapula behind you. You got it, Maddie. Keep pulling your shoulder blades behind you to touch. Big breath in. Twist a little bit deeper and a little bit harder as you exhale. One more breath in. Big breath out. Happy to stay or fallen warrior. It's a nice little upgrade to the outer edges of your feet. You're going to reach so that you get more of that psoas piriformis area. Your bottom left leg should feel like side plank if this is you. Fire up the hips together and feel them work in synergistic ways to squeeze the inner thighs, the mula bandha, that pelvic muscle, nice and strong. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Easy exhale. Okay, 3-legged downward dog. Kick your right leg to the sky. Can you find more space in your hip? Circular motions around and around. Maybe if you're already feeling frisky, you take a little bit of a flip dog, finding more space and love through that right side hip.